Thank the gentleman from South Carolina. I will now recognize the gentleman from Connecticut, Mr. Courtney.
Thank you, Mr. Whitman, and thank you, General Cavoli, particularly for your heartfelt comments regarding the fallen, and also, again, the really sincere efforts by our allies to assist in every way possible. To me, in some ways, that speaks more loudly about the value of an alliance that's been around for so long and is founded on shared values and interests. In your narrative about the state of play with Ukraine right now, I mean, one aspect which I think sometimes gets overlooked a little bit in the U.S. is the fact that Ukraine has not just held the line in the Black Sea, it's actually pushed the Russian Navy to the furthest eastern end of the Black Sea. They've sank a third of the Black Sea fleet, including its flagship, Moskva, sank a Kilo submarine in Sevastopol. And again, in terms of the state of play right now, we saw sea-launched missile attacks over the weekend by Russia, which actually has not happened much since Ukraine, without a navy, has been able to push back the Russian fleet. Can you comment again in terms of just how extraordinary, that achievement is without a navy, and also how whether or not the safe passage of grain shipments are now going to be at risk because Russia now seems to be sort of taking advantage of the lull?
Congressman, thanks for the opportunity to comment on one of the most amazing maritime feats in years. So you put your finger right on it. Not only did Ukraine roll back the presence of the Black Sea Fleet, they don't even have a navy. They have given us all a view of a future where unmanned surface vehicles, basically sea drones, have the potential to wage conflict at a large scale against a traditional manned navy. Really remarkable. They have had some help from us, from our European allies, but I should stress that a great deal of their expertise is indigenous. It's grown with their own engineers, their own lessons learned. It's remarkable. They did clear out a passage lane for safe passage of grain ships from Odessa down to the Turkish Straits, and that has been what has been securing the free passage of grain, the Black Sea Grain Initiatives, long defunct. So that's very encouraging. Russia did launch some surface-launched cruise missiles the other day. They have been doing that. They have the capability to do that all the way from the Caspian, if you want to know the truth. So it's not unusual for them to do that. They don't have a very good ability to hit moving targets with those missiles, though. So I think there's a lot of space where we can help the Ukrainians here to continue to protect.
Great, thank you. I mean, and to Mr. Smith's point, the notion that, Ms. Thompson, the ceasefire is taking hold, the fact that, again, there were sea-launched attacks, maybe not on moving vessels, but they certainly hit cities in Ukraine over the weekend, that clearly shows that whatever holding the administration may think is happening, in fact, I would argue we're going in the reverse direction in terms of where we were before the negotiations in Riyadh. Mr. Chairman, there's an article in the April 7th, just yesterday's Kyiv Post, headline, Russia mocks Trump ceasefire deal with sea-launched missile attack on Ukrainian cities. I ask that it be made part of the record.
Without objection.
Thank you. So, General Cavoli, you talked about the value of the alliance in terms of tracking on Russian submarine. Again, I represent Groton, Connecticut, which we have 15 attack subs that are sort of part of that team sport that our NATO allies do to protect the homeland. And General Guillot talked about that last week. Again, quickly before I'm done, could you maybe just again describe how the NATO anti-submarine warfare effort, which is a team sport, really is so important?
Yes, absolutely. I'll do it in generalities, Congressman, because so much of undersea warfare is held pretty closely by nations, to include ours, of course. Sub-hunting consists basically of submarine looking for submarine, maritime patrol aircraft using various means to look for submarines, and helicopters looking for submarines, and then surface vessels, usually destroyers or frigates, using their assets to look. And we combine all 4 of those dimensions to surge in specific areas that that our intelligence helps us to figure out. We don't have the world's monopoly on all that equipment. And it's very exquisite equipment. We don't have as much of it as we wished we have. Our allies do. Our Norwegian allies, our UK allies, the land space in Iceland where we based maritime patrol aircraft out of Keflavik, the refueling ships to keep our destroyers at sea, Danish frigates, all of this comes together and gets orchestrated.
Gentleman's time's expired.